Economia a partir de...
Hello, can you hear us? Yeah, thank you all for coming. Sorry for the slight delay in proceedings. Becca had to run on a train and it all got a bit weird.
I was at work. I'm not late.
But yeah, we're gonna get cracking now. So thanks for your patience and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna blank it. So yeah, we're going to this radio station. Yeah, we don't know how long it's been running. We think quite a while, but it's kind of been going up and down in terms of popularity, and not just popularity, how well it's been running. But last year we had Kieran, who I bet some of you know, who did an amazing job. Yeah, they have noticed us a bit more. So I mean, this year we've got a really good foundation to really get wide radio pretty good, essentially, which is our plans. So we're working hard at trying to get that done. Yeah, so we only broadcast online. It costs lots of money to do an FM, and it works really well because it means we're really free to do whatever you guys want on it. Yeah, so there's so many different genres of music or different kind of shows that go on. Literally, there's very few rules in terms of what you can do on having a show or not having a show. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Okay, great.
So yeah, apparently we're good. Is that yeah? So yes, me and Roberto were elected managers in March. Yeah, last year. So, well, I mean, really only in the last few months have we come into action. We've got Hugh, who is our head of tech. He's working on things at the moment, such as a website, which is under redevelopment, which will fit with the new branding, which we did this summer, which you guys hopefully also helped vote for. We have just interviewed people for events coordinator and online content social editors, who are the Robins over here. We've decided they're Robins, so we're Batman. Sorry. But yeah, and also more roles. Basically, we want you to come to us with role ideas if you don't want to have a show. So yeah, you can just come to us, or we will be posting opportunities as well about other roles. That's just us giving out these people we've contacted at any point. Yes, these are really important. We'll remind you of these at the end as well. But yeah, so the studio is going to be finished apparently, was it Monday?
Yeah, Monday, the test.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you have seen it, but it's being built in the SU where the reception used to be, like brand new, as in like building work. So hopefully all sound insulated properly.
We'll cover that later on in the
But yeah. Yeah, 14th, if you want to have a show, you need to have applied online by that date. That's when we'll be closing them. Yeah, and then after that we'll sort out the schedule, and then that'll be revealed, hopefully with your best time in place. Then after that we'll start training on the weekend from the 19th. We'll be doing like training for every show individually over those 2 days. If you come in those 2 days, we're going to have other times in which you will make sure you get the training. Yeah, and then after that, 20th October, we hopefully be completely broadcasting. Yeah, so
it really depends on IT services and then sorting out the network kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if they're on it, it will be good to go kind of thing by then. Maybe even early.
yes, okay. So if you want to be involved with us, you do have to be a paying member. It's £5 a year. You get a bag, which we have at the front, which you might see people using. I'm doing it myself. But also, you know, the money really is going to be used. We use it to help fund anything you want to do, including like putting on an event. We'll use money to help put on the event, or if you have marketing ideas, we'll be helping to fund that. So it's quite important, also to keep in studio going well. We have sorted that all out, but membership's quite important. So if you do want to be involved, you do have to make sure you pay on the SU, which should be up soon when they sort their act out. As you all know, the SU's in. Yeah, we'll
Can we not
post
just pay you
it.
directly?
Sorry?
Can we not just pay you directly?
I'm afraid not. They've changed the system, so it's like a barcode thing. You might be able to pay in the SU rather than online.
They're talking about having like a cash till at reception, but they've kind of said no societies can have any money in case we steal it.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you haven't already, probably good to go on our Facebook. It's all capitals, Wide Radio Goldsmiths, and then we update that really regularly. So. Yes, okay, so shows, if you want a show, you'll get an hour-long slot. Yeah, except over holidays due to security reasons.
So you can come in at Christmas if you want on Christmas Day.
You say September holidays, that mean you don't broadcast at all over the holidays?
Oh, this summer.
So we tend to, reading week, we tend to get a lot of people going home, but we do allow the shows that are going to stay in London on campus. If they want to continue, they can do so.
No recruitment.
Last year, we had issues with IT, that we couldn't get any internet in our previous studio, so we kind of, and someone also took a Mac charge up, so we kind of forced to take it up there. This summer, potentially, because the SU remains open over summer doing different events and stuff, so maybe.
Yeah, we're pretty free, which is a really cool thing about Wide. You can play what you want. We've got those different specialist shows, or just talk shows. Yeah, depending on times, we might have a few rules going on, and depending if we broadcast around campus, because we don't want to offend anyone. But we will discuss that.
Is it going to be broadcast around campus then?
That's something we're trying to implicate. It's actually not as easy as you'd think. A lot of people don't want us to do it.
I guess because they want to listen to their own music, don't they?
Yeah, yeah. And also they think, fair enough, very students well, they don't want it on, but it is something we're going to be looking into, and we're going to see if we can get a majority of people who actually want to do it. So, you know, we don't just want to do it and no one want it, we want people to actually want it. But that is something we've been discussing.
Can't the SU just do it?
They,
At the moment it's just online, but we're in discussions with Courses Cafeteria, you know, the cafeteria, because there's no music in there kind of thing. There's no reason why we shouldn't do that.
Same with the shop.
Courses shop as well, because at the moment they just have a tiny laptop playing Spotify.
Well, I imagine they like playing their own music though, but the SU, they don't really have much choice, do they?
The SU, the actual SU building.
Yeah, the bar.
They have a contract with a SBT. Exactly.
Yeah, they pay for a 10-year contract and they're only 4 years in, and they get money out of it. So they're not going to ditch that for us.
Why? Why'd they pay for SBTV?
We are going to have a free strikes and you're out rule, because we've had a lot of times where people will sort of come in for like one show or two shows and then never come back, and there's been dead air, and people who wanted a show don't get a show. If there is a really valid reason why you can't come in for some of the things, we will discuss it, and we're going to try and make opportunities to pre-record or podcast. But yeah, generally we are going to be quite strict for that. For those reasons.
If you find after 2 shows it's not your thing, you just come to us, that's totally fine. It's not for everyone, but it's just meant to be a bit of fun. But just tell us if you feel like, it's not keeping people usually.
Yeah, that's generally yeah, so again, about applying, you apply online. We just need some details, just like show name, sort of an idea of what you want to do. It doesn't have to be solid now, because obviously you're going to be experimenting, but just so we have a rough idea, so we don't put like loads of electronic shows next to each other, so there's a bit of variety. This is like existing shows as well. If you haven't already, it's an existing show, applied online, we need you to do that, please.
And is that something you can just automatically work out whether we've paid or not? Or do we have to tell
We're
you?
going to have a list that we can...
Oh, okay, cool.
So yeah, we'll know.
If we get the opportunity to have a show this term, when will we find out from that?
You'll find that on the
16th? Yeah.
Will you ring us or?
We'll release a schedule.
We'll release a schedule.
Online.
Just on that, if we don't have a show this term, we're still able to record a podcast, or is it within 6
Theoretically, yes, because obviously there's a time limit where we can't access the studio, such as like 3 in the morning, for example. And so there'll be nothing to stop any kind of students like their event being recorded, like comedy plays, live music. We could just stick that in and it's going to play when no one's live in the studio. But that shouldn't necessarily be.
It might not necessarily be the case anyway. Okay. Yeah, that's literally just the case for not how it's working out there. Yeah.
Yeah, all of this was sent out in emails. You can get an email, let us know if you want for whatever reason. It's also on the Facebook page as well, all the links and how to fill in.
Yeah, if you didn't get an email and you do want to be receiving them, we'll put a piece of paper out and you can probably put down at the end. Yeah, we had a few issues
I'll put my laptop
typing them
out,
up, but yeah.
because some of the handwriting is
So we tried to decipher as well as we could.
this room is
Yeah, so basically, if you're going to have a show, you're going to want to have listeners, because I had a show for 2 years and had one listener. So, but that was just partly my own fault. So yeah, it's good to come up with a name really, so people have a rough idea of what you are. Create, Facebook, Twitter, and Mixcloud is quite important because obviously we are online generation and all that. Mixcloud is really good. It means you can upload your shows after you've done them. Which is great because if someone doesn't get to listen to you live, they can listen to it again and they might hear it, like it, listen to it live, and you still get listeners. And then training sessions, obviously, they're pretty important. So, if you are doing a show, think about these things, start getting an online presence, come to our training, so you know actually how to use the studio and how to broadcast. It's going to hopefully be very simple, but we'll be discussing that later on. Yeah, these are just some examples of sort of shows that have previously been, which have done quite a good job of online presence. Brown Sugar Radio, I listened to quite a lot actually because I love food, so it was about food, and she did a really good job because I just constantly knew about it, and this is why I listened, because constant updates, extra content which wasn't just on the show. As you can see sort of over here is pictures and lots of little reviews and things about food. So that worked really well, and it really stood out because it popped up a lot. Sorry.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
So the other thing was, so if you, as well as online presence, I think offline presence as well, we have to be a bit careful about posters because there's places where you can't put them, people get told off. But these guys recently played at Freshers Fair and they had this really cool poster which they, I saw them bring in the tube. I think this kind of thing really stands out, and it looks pretty good. It's good, clear branding for them. It's just little things you can think about, and also if we have other roles where people sort of do marketing and things, that's something you can work with. Sort of speaks for itself. Just have a bit of thought before you go on and do a show, because otherwise you're just going to sit there and sort of a bit, which I did for the majority of the year. But yeah, it's just good to have a bit of, idea of what you're going to be talking about, what you're going to be playing, or what you're going to do. Just so you sound professional, because for someone could be scouting or listening, and it looks good on you if you prepared something. You don't have to go crazy. Yes, Robin. We want to have sort of with the online content and web editor, we want people to be able to sort of be part of it, wired larger than just your own show. So by having the web editor, we can do extra promotion for you if you have something extra special coming up on your show that you've planned. So featuring this show, we'll just be like, oh, this show's got this coming up this week. So, we want to help you out as much as you helping yourselves out. We'll have more contact details, so, you'll be able to contact people in certain times if you're doing something extra special.
We've got a new studio, which is great. Anyone who was here last year knew that our studio wasn't very soundproof. It was very rickety and delicate. there's lawsuits waiting to happen basically, especially the wooden mixing desk, which was going to collapse at any moment. Yeah, the new building is inside the students' union. It's going to be this one. It's a rough setup, the table and chairs, yada yada. We have soundproof walls, fitted with cavity, etc. We also have on-air lights for the first time. And next door, there will be a student media hub in here. We'll be sharing this with Leopard, which is the student newspaper, and Smiths, which is the magazine. But we'll have a computer specifically kind of networked to the main computer we'll have in here, so you can prepare your shows kind of half in advance, kind of thing. So if you don't have time, like you're rushing toward it, you can just go on the computer quickly, kind of thing. Yeah, and also because it's in a part of the students' union which isn't alarmed, so it can literally give you kind of like a key card access system. I mean, last year we had all kinds of horrible issues with security. People getting to a show at 9 AM, the doors being locked, then them opening the door, setting the alarm off. In terms of equipment, because we received additional funding from the Goldsmiths kind of fund, which is the alumni of Goldsmiths, and they kind of give money for special purposes, I guess. We've got a new mixer because the current mixer, although it's a good workhorse, it's probably as old as me. We've got 4 microphones. Last year we had 2 and a broken third one. This year we've got 4. So you can kind of expand in terms of your shows, get more guests in, do more kind of live lounge stuff, so that's your thing. We've also got some new computers. The current system, the last system we had, basically bring in an iPod or a laptop, stick it into the mixer, and speak over a microphone, or you can use microphones as well. But this year, we're keeping those options. We've also got a playout system, which you can load up your songs from home and upload them to the system. I really should have a picture to kind of visually illustrate what I mean. Basically, kind of play all your files on computers you have to bring anything in, such as laptops, USB sticks. We've also got a telephone balance unit, which allows us to call us live on the air, which is something we previously didn't have. It gives you a good way to interact with listeners. It's fun as well. This was already there. We're currently fixing the 2 turntables. We're getting like a new equipment mess, which isn't new, but it's like a lot of things. That's good. And we're also going to have like a small display in the studio, which will give you a number of listeners, which could be depressing or really nice. It looks daunting, and it is, but all you really need to know is kind of this bit, I guess. I'll explain the whole process starting from here. Basically, as I said before, you have your internet connection. We'll create a web portal where you can kind of log in, drop in your tracks. We have a system called Iris that we're going to use, which it checks the track's metadata. So if it's like, we all have songs that we kind of mislabeled, we'll just have like the title or something. We'll check all the metadata and kind of make sure it's all perfect, the artist name, year, etc. And it will also kind of, it applies like a leveling effect. I don't know how many of you are familiar with like sound engineering stuff, but we basically try and keep everything the same level so that you don't have 2 songs, one be astronomically louder than the other. And then after that, like if once it goes through all its processes, it ends up, I don't know, SSPC, it's a hard drive, separate hard drive for the audio kind of thing. Just in case our player PC goes down for whatever reason, so all the songs that are in there that you've spent a while uploading will be lost forever. And we have the player PC, which I mentioned, has playout software on it. You can basically play the story tracks and everything. We'll also have 2 other faders assigned between player PC and the mixing desk, so you can kind of, when you leave the studio, you pull up one of the faders and we're automatically playing like bed music or just something, any music really, to ensure that we don't have dead air, which is was terrible last year. Loads of people would go onto the website and it would just be nothing because people aren't set up for the show and it was just nothing to go for a week. But if that all sounds too complicated and you want to do what you were doing before, you can still do that. The mixing desk has auxiliary inputs as usual, turntables, CD player, your own kind of laptop. Anything else? Yeah, okay. So after it goes through the mixing desk, you've got all your microphone stuff with your music coming out at the other end. It goes through to the PC we have for streaming logging. Logging in this context refers to just like recording it all, so like you can put it up later. It's like Mixcloud podcast kind of thing. But we're gonna have a script which dumps it, or it cuts it into hour-long files, so your show will kind of automatically cut. Last year, you basically had to press record and pause at the end of your show kind of thing to record it and then put it up. That won't be needed anymore. We'll have them put into public Dropboxes. Tell me if anyone's like lost, because I'm quite lost. Help me. Yeah, these public Dropboxes will be alphabetically listed. So if your show is, I don't know, some gold will be from S to E or whatever. You can access that and you can just drop it onto Mixcloud like before. So it saves the whole leaving USB in the studio, yada yada. That bit, don't worry, that's fun. And the on-air light will be attached when you put the mics up. Okay, last year we had a lot of shows that were kind of self-produced. You come in with your own idea and you'd also be the host, which is totally fine. But there are a lot of people who don't have the confidence, or they don't think they do, or they don't think they have the voice to be a host or whatever, but they still want to get involved. So if you are one of these people who likes to think of ideas for scripted radio or just fun ideas for a host, if you want to try and find someone, like possibly in this room after we go to the pub and say, oh, I'm not sure about hosting, but I've got really good ideas, maybe I could write some of your radio content, then we would like implore you to kind of do that. Yeah. Oh yeah, also we're launching a video channel this year called Wired Eye, because we find that none of the shows, the station itself didn't really have much visual presence other than kind of the basic branding visual. And we'll kind of be using this to showcase individual shows, such as when they have like special, like if they have like an interview with someone interesting or whatever, or even just do profile shows like a 60-second kind of, call it quick fire round kind of thing, just like silly stuff as well as that. But we're also going to be covering stuff which is a wider kind of goals, which is like student interest. We're thinking like covering points of interest, like events, like Simon Says, which is when the popular music studios like Follow Me, all very good, you should go. Just that kind of thing. And if you have like, if you want to get involved with that, even if you don't have experience, if you want to edit or direct, or if you have good ideas for like a documentary based on New Cross or Goldsmiths that can be at least a bit relevant to Wired, then come forward. Events. We have an events manager. He's on his way. He's coming from rehearsal. Called Robin. He's going to be putting on facilitating our events this year. Last year we had one. It was really good. He was in a bunker club, which is in Deptford. We kind of showcased a lot of the shows at Wired's up on stage kind of thing, and it was really fun. Really cheap drinks. It was great. But we're going to be doing a lot more this year because one isn't really enough. Myself and Robin have talked about this, and we're thinking possibly for a term or so. If you want to get involved in that, the organisational aspect of like play at an event, or even if you if you want to play an event, get in touch. Or photography, poster designing, flyering, just like the plethora of ways to get involved. Jingles. Any music producers in the house? 1, 2, 3, 4, growing. Basically, Wired this year will have a fader on the mixer which we're going to be using for beds. So after you play the song, whatever, you can just slide it up and play a bed from like this playlist of beds. It's really hard to explain in words about visual aids.
So to ask, is it only Wired radio jingles you're allowed, or you're allowed jingles for your own
For your own show? Yeah, you're welcome to create your own show. Obviously, if we're asked, it'd be more difficult to ask someone else to do it for you kind of thing. They might not be maybe less kind of important in that sense.
Is it going to be a quota of how many times you use like the jingle on the show to round it?
Not really, just I guess reasonable, it's common sense. Like if you're doing it every 10 seconds, it's going to be something problem there. Make it interesting radio. Yeah, if any of you musicians or say anything like that or know anyone, let us know. It's a really good chance to get some showcase. And it says prizes for the best. I don't know about that, but prizes for all of these things. This is kind of what I said before, really. New Cross is a huge hub of bubble and creativity and culture and magical music, and so it's an electric place. We're thinking possibly this year, when the show's no longer live in the studio, we're going to possibly stream some like the Goldsmiths content, like perhaps streaming the comedy after all of our live shows are done, like during the evening kind of thing at night, 10 p.m. Whenever the shows are finished, really. And the same for Simon Says, like live music. We just kind of it will increase the reach of wide, I guess, exposure. But it's just ideas, really. If you have any idea of what would be a good collaboration, just let us know. It's very important.
Have we contacted New Cross Records?
I spoke to them at their thing that they had on the last Thursday. We emailed. Who did we email?
We emailed, I forgot his name, the guy who is a musician in his own right as well, who helped set it up.
Matthew Herbert.
Yes, that's it. I've been trying to contact him. Not much luck so far.
That would be a perfect example of the kind of thing what I was mentioning there. Like all Goldsmith Media, the magazine, obviously, and newspaper, obviously, are technically press offices. That means you can come to us if this is something you want to go see, we can possibly covering the show, and we can inquire with the relevant people and try and get you kind of some kind of access, whether it be a free ticket to a gig that you want to review, obviously aim low rather than high. We're not going to get you a ticket to the map or anything ridiculous. But that facility exists, and it was kind of vastly underused last year. We kind of want to make everyone aware of that in case you want to take advantage of it, I guess.
Don't be too long.
Just give us an email. These are kind of just our aims. The top one, it goes without saying, really. We're trying to expand beyond the roles, because last year it was just the one manager. As we've got a new studio, we're kind of growing in every single aspect. We want to give you guys more stuff to do. We want to get you involved outside of having shows. Even I know most of you will be here just for shows. We've already discussed potential broadcasting. We're in talks with both the cafeteria and the extra shop about this. But we'll kind of see how that goes, kind of thing. We'd like to, really. These all kind of speakers. Bringing industry speakers. There is a lot of kind of alumni Goldsmiths. I mean, we have Rob the Bank, who hosts Radio 1 show and runs festival. And last year we had a guy from the BBC coming, but we want to get more kind of industry speakers coming to kind of give you guys ideas, just to inspire you a bit. So we're going to be working on that as well. Who here is familiar with the Varsity? One. Okay. Every year, Goldsmiths takes on the University of the Arts London in a kind of, I guess it's akin to like a London derby kind of thing. They basically play each other in a range of sports, and it's all over like a period of 2 days, and it's kind of ultra competitive. Everyone's kind of drunk, and they all drink at the end as well. It's a good laugh. This year, we want to try and do our first outdoor broadcast. We'd like to get other people to kind of walk around, interviewing people, doing jokey kind of commentary on the sport, like even if you've got no idea what you're saying, kind of thing. It'd just be amusing. It'd be a good milestone for the station to have our first outside broadcasting. Well, that'd be kind of a good example of what to do. And this is kind of, if you can see it. It's kind of a beta idea at the moment. We haven't really given much thought beyond the kind of initial. Basically, we thought it'd be funny if one day the station, or even for just 1 week, all the stations, all the shows swap what they're initially going to be doing. So say if you were a house show, you'd be put on spoken word poetry kind of thing. I think the results would be interesting, and it would be a good way for you to meet the rest of the station, I guess. Last year, we never really had any big kind of social gatherings other than the last thing. There's a lot of people that had shows and yet didn't know each other. We want to kind of build on that. I'm not building on it. Get rid of it. Okay. This again is a bit kind of off the there is an association called the Student Radio Association. Every year they have this big kind of event thing. What's it called actually? Conference, sorry. Sorry. Pressure of public speaking. Yeah, they have this big conference and they bring in tons and tons of industry speakers, and it's usually held at a university somewhere. You go for the 3 days, and there's various industries, technology speakers, there's literally all sorts, all from the radio industry kind of thing. And it's a really good kind of networking opportunity. And every night after all the talks and stuff, everyone gets drunk, everyone hands out business cards drunkenly, so you wake up, who's this kind of thing. It's a really, really fun, but also professionally, possibly, if your radio is something you want to get into in the future, viable kind of experience. At the moment, I think we're just about to become a member of the SRA. Previously we haven't, but the SRA, they have events like all the time, even casual stuff. Like our region is London and East Anglia, and so they have big meets and kind of parties like every other month or so. So we're going to obviously invite you guys to all that kind of thing. You get to meet people from the industry and just network and also get drunk. Every fucking drunk, really, isn't it? Yeah. And this is a sneak peek of the new website. Hugh, our head of tech, unfortunately could not make it today, but he's left us with this little teaser, I guess, of what it could potentially look like. Don't ignore these, they're not real words. Yeah, that's about it. Yes. Here.